Good afternoon. Today is the 5th of February, and it's time to talk about a subject which I believe is going to be a little bit controversial, but it's been all over the news over the last couple of days, and it would be remiss of me not to talk about this, and that is the government ban on petrol, diesel, and hybrid cars being brought forward from 2040 to 2035. Now, because when I've covered controversial topics before on this channel, sometimes I've not used particularly reliable sources. I'm only going to use a source that I think is the most reliable of, most of the mainstream media outlets. I'm going to use the BBC News for information that I've got here. There's other articles on Autocar, Auto Express, and things like that you could also use, but this is the one I'm going to use. It appears that at a summit on climate change this week, Boris Johnson has said that the ban on petrol and diesel cars, which was supposed to be 2040, that's been brought forward to 2035, and it now includes hybrid cars. So from 2035, the only cars that you will be able to buy new on the UK market will be fully electric or hydrogen fuel cell cars. This is different from what was before, and I think they're looking to actually bring this even further forward, if that is going to be a possibility. The reason I gather this is happening is that they want to meet a particular carbon emission target for 2050, and obviously reductions in private transport, which is what cars are normally used for, or sometimes business, is a contributory factor to greenhouse gases. That's something we can't really deny, but something we have to live with. But what I've seen in the media over the last few days is that there are two groups of people who are not happy with this. There are people who think this isn't far enough and they should bring it even further forward to say 2025. I think a similar thing is happening in Norway. If I'm right about that, I might be wrong. But there are others who say that this is, not going to work. How are manufacturers going to get their act together to take all petrol, diesel and hybrid cars off the market within 15 years? And perhaps that's too soon. Now, I don't particularly have an opinion about this which I would say is definitive or really come down too heavily on one side or the other. I've driven electric cars, quite a number of them actually now, and they're brilliant. The ZSEV that MG are making is a fantastic electric car that's very affordable, very easy to drive, very spacious, and that is probably one of the easiest ways for somebody to get into an electric car. Is it flawed? Of course it is. I'm not just talking about the annoying bongs which, appear at various points when you stop the car or try to lock it and things like that. I'm talking about there are other flaws about the car as well. It's not perfect, but it is one of the most affordable ways into electric motoring if that is what you want to do. In terms of what we will do in the household, I think the next car that I get when I replace this Toledo that I'm in the moment will not be an electric car. I'm open to a plug-in hybrid car, but I don't think I'd like to go full electric for the moment. Obviously some people would say that's a bad decision and I should be more foresighted, but I just personally think that maybe the car after that I might get an electric one. I don't know. I'm not going to come down and say for definite what will happen in 3.5 years time when I'll be looking for the next one after that potentially, because normally leases and PCP deals are 3 years long. In terms of what you should do about your cars that are going to fall foul of this legislation at some point in the future, I don't know when, I don't think you need to worry really. The existing infrastructure for petrol, diesel and hybrid cars will continue much as much as it is. Obviously they'll probably sell less petrol and less diesel, but in terms of them banning cars off the road entirely, I don't know if that will happen. I really couldn't say. The only sure way to sort of do it is to then buy an electric car if you're worried about it, but I don't think you need to be at the moment. I know some people who watch this channel have classic cars, and I still think you're going to be able to enjoy them. We've recently joined the local classic car club, which is called Test Valley Motor Enthusiasts. Maybe some of you have seen the video I made last May when I did a shambolic shuffle around their annual display at the Hilly Arboretum near Romsey. And I don't think most of them are going to be giving up their 50s to 90s classics anytime soon. We certainly are not going to be selling the car we just bought a couple of days ago because of this news. I think the first thing that will happen will be the things I spoke about in a video that I did last week about various cities having more stringent legislation about which cars they allow into them without paying. That will be the first thing that will be affected. In terms of the sale of the new cars, whether they'll bring that even more forward, I don't know. It's very difficult to say. I do think we should consider doing our bit for the environment. I'm not a denier of climate change. I really am not. I think that we have to consider all the alternatives carefully, but I don't think we need to panic about anything. I don't think we need to sort of rush out and immediately run down to the nearest Tesla showroom or whichever supplier of electric cars you would like to use and immediately trade in our faithful fossil-fueled cars. I don't think we need to do that at the moment. What this will do to second-hand car prices, I don't really know. I'm not sure. It's far too early to say. I do know, though, that there will be a lot of people who will be panicking into changing to electric now, which is just the way that things go. If you do wish me to source a car for you, I'm very happy to do that. I don't really mind what fuel it actually has. But if this is something that you want to do, I'm very happy to source an electric car for you. I think for many people, they do work quite well. They really do require quite a lifestyle change to have one. Having, driven them fairly extensively now myself, I do like them, but that is something that, it depends on the individual what you want to do. I'm looking forward actually to having an electric car for a week quite soon. I've requested one to use for a week to see how it goes. So I look forward to doing that experiment at some point in the future. But at the moment, I think I'll probably be sticking when I change this car in about July or August to the more conventional alternatives, and with the plug-in hybrid being one of them. So I don't think we've heard of the last of this topic on this channel. I will be ending the video quite soon because it will get too long and it's far too early to really make any definite conclusions about a lot of the issues that are brought up here. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I'm sure many of you have comments about this story and the implications that are involved in this. Don't forget to leave this video a like, and if you want to visit the website www.lloydvehicleconsulting.co.uk to get in touch with me, then there's a contact tab on the front page there, and I'd love to hear from you in that way if that's what you'd like to do. I've also got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.